That is not right, right? It doesn't play. So I must be a second-class citizen if women are considered to be more trustworthy. Now, in the past, women were considered gossips, unreliable, corruptible. Fuck everything they are today, yes? But not anymore. That's not what they're considered. They aren't considered that. Now they're considered superior to men. So you go to court, you're already in a position with legal prejudice against you, coming from the bench. That is the judge behind his seat in his robe with his gavel, and the full force and effect of law and the enforcement of his decision. Men are second-class citizens. They have lost divorce cases where they lose not only the divorce, right? They're considered at fault and therefore they could be punished. Now we have no-fault divorce, but back then it used to be at fault, and he would have to pay. He'd have to pay money, give up his house, his income, everything. Everything you lose. So men operate from a perspective or a position of fear in relationships. And so they are second class to relationships, and the law is used to do that. So men not only fear the divorce, they also fear palimony. If you engage in a long-term relationship with a woman, and whether that long-term status is decided by a court, even though you haven't legally married her, the court assigns a personal responsibility to you. And you have to pay for her, whether they call it common law marriage or something else. You become responsible. She is superior to you. You are second class. You pay. If a woman wants to make a complaint to the police, her word is taken. Your rights are null. Right? You are the bad guy because she said so. So a woman can complain about rape without any evidence that a rape occurred. They can lie and get away with it, and they do it, and men fear this. There is no way a man can protect himself once this has happened. Right? And by protect yourself, I mean get out of it scot-free. You're going to have to pay for an attorney. You could lose your job. You could lose your right to self-defense in the United States of America if a domestic abuse or domestic assault is claimed by a woman. Without a hearing, without any evidence, without any facts, you are a second-class citizen, and you as a man lose. And while there are cases, and in every example where a woman can be less than, right? I'm talking about the majority of cases. And the majority is how our society runs. It's run by the majority, it's owned by the majority, it's decided by the majority. The majority, the vast majority of cases, women control the narrative. And men are second-class citizens. So the big question is, how do you get out of this? How do we do this, men? What the fuck is going on? How do you do it? Well, there's things you can do. You can control your own mind. And you can control your own destiny. First off, you have to stop accepting that you're a second-class citizen. When someone treats you incorrectly, they need to be instantly corrected. It's going to require some backbone on your part, and it's going to require intellect on your part. You can't be first class if you don't have backbone. That is exactly what I mean by backbone is some self-respect and some courage. Right? That is how the aristocracy kept people thinking they were peasants, was by telling them that they were less than the aristocracy, that the aristocracy had a right to own them and control them and dominate them and take from them. But when you get backbone, and you can do it as an individual, you stop acting and thinking like a second-class citizen. With regard to social situations, out in public, don't get the door for a woman. If she talks to you and puts you down for not getting the door, ignore her. Women hate to be ignored. Or give her the opposite of the attention she wants. If she tries to shame you, call her a bitch. Say, fuck you. I love the term suck my junk, but that might be considered sexual harassment. Yet another legal avenue that women have opened up in order to dominate and declare themselves first-class citizens over men. The cry of sexual discrimination and sexual harassment, bordering on sexual assault. But I do love the term suck my junk. But you've got to stop accepting second-class status. You can do it in your personal life. If you've got a girlfriend or a wife, you tell her no more. And you have to mean it, right? The second-class citizen doesn't do that. The second-class citizen also is afraid of losing what they have. You have to be willing to fight to win. That's how they've gotten where they've gotten. They have fought and struggled and finally pushed men under their heel, their little spiked high heel. You've got to stop accepting that you're second class and act, behave, think as if you're first class citizen. Now, if you don't have a woman, you aren't married, you have decisions to make in your life. If I were to walk through a swamp filled with crocodiles and snakes every day, I would expect at some point to be bit, chased, harassed, right, to lose a limb, right, to get infection, etc. Stop walking through the swamp. Right? Get the fuck out of the swamp. Every time you expose yourself, you put yourself in a position to be injured, to be made a second-class citizen by women. Getting out of relationships, staying out of relationships, not exposing yourself to women. This idea that women want what they want from you, and they're gonna get it through tricking you. And what is that trick? It's the same trick that every prostitute has used from the beginning of time, right? Pussy. If you're gonna see a woman, right, you need to make sure she's not gonna scream rape and control you. That she's not going to use guilt to control you and to push you into that second-class status. Because once you're there, it is much harder to get out than if you're out and you're a first-class citizen and you know it. It's easier to stay out once you are out. In your personal life with your family, you're not second-class. In your house, you're not second-class. On the street, you're not second-class. At work, you're not second class. And you need to avoid at all costs courtrooms. Because there you need to pay for an attorney to defend yourself and hope you're on equal footing with whoever is giving you trouble. It's not the good old days where men were just dominant by their very nature. Because women are feminists, and feminists don't just believe that they're empowered women. They believe they're superior to you, that you're inferior to them. They have convinced themselves that they are as smart and as strong as men. They have convinced themselves that they have more rights than you. They have convinced themselves that they're virtuous and you are not. They have convinced themselves that they are the same as a man, right? 1 equals 1. They think that they are equal to a man. Woman equals man. No, woman equals woman. Man equals man. There is no equality there. There can never be mental or physical equality. But they've convinced themselves that there is. This equality, this magical force that surrounds them and makes them better than you. Because they say so, they believe so, and they act like it. As Mgtow, you need to know that you are superior. You need to reclaim that. You need to defend yourself the same way everyone else has defended themselves. If you're attacked by a bear, you attack. You defend yourself. You can't outrun a bear. The bear will run you down and maul you. You stand and fight, or you lose. It's a lucky day when you get away from a bear that wants to eat you. But that is how the feminists operate. That is how women operate. They operate from a position of superiority. And men have deferred to it for so long now that men have been convinced that it's okay to lampoon them, to put them down, to take their money, to demand from them, to use guilt, shame, and all form of manipulation, to use the police and the legal system, to use every social avenue to get to men and convince them they're second class. It is up to you to deny that. It is up to you to not put yourself in a position where you can get in trouble with feminists and have to accept second class status. It's up to you. If you want to be Mgtow, you have to choose to be Mgtow. And then there is responsibility that you accept for yourself. The second-class citizen says, it's not my fault. I'm going to defer to the Lord, to the first-class citizen, and I'm going to ask them, I'm going to petition them, plead to them, pray to them for acceptance, for approval, for forgiveness, etc. Men, Mgtow men, don't do that. You have to be responsible for yourself and willing to take care of yourself. You have to accept responsibility, and only then can you become free. Only then can you be Mgtow. Only then can you be a man. Only then can you be a first-class citizen. And only then can you have the benefits. Have those benefits. And you don't have to be some screaming alpha male to do it. You just have to be a man. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Mgtow is freedom. I have the penis. I prove it every single day. All right. I want to thank you guys for your support at Patreon and PayPal. That's been great. Oh my God, it's been great. You guys need to support all Mgtow channels. There is a huge attack. Once again, we are second class in the eyes of the world of free speech. Right? We're being told that as a movement, Mgtow, as an alternative viewpoints, we're being told that we don't deserve to be watched, and so we are put on a restricted list with YouTube, and it's harder and harder for people to find this information. So what I say is, in order to do that, in order to make sure we're spreading the information, is you need to copy the URL, copy the link, and send it via email or Gmail, text, Facebook, Twitter, whatever your social media is. Send it around. Send it to friends, family, loved ones, men, old, young, married, divorced, of all creed, color, right, everything. So that men can learn about this and see, yes, there is a movement to get out of second-class status. We have to do that. Right? And it has to start somewhere, and it's been started for a long time, and it's building momentum, and it's getting some sound philosophy, some strong legs under it. Right? Men don't need women. You're not second class. You are first class. Women need you. They are truly the second class creature. They are not as smart as you. They're not as strong as you. They are second class. They serve us. Right? All they do is screech and make a lot of noise. Right? They're a phantom or a banshee in the night. They are a harpy that screams, right, and terrifies men. And if you're a true man, you stop succumbing to your fears. Accept responsibility and be who you were meant to be. It's a man's world. Take it back. Semper Fi, guys. Mgtow is freedom.